Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm continuing my NFL Week 17 previews and predictions. I'm previewing all Week 17 games here right on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check out my other videos. Subscribe to my channel to get all of my sports talk videos delivered directly to your inbox on a daily basis. Playing out the string here, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The Jaguars come in with a record of 2-13, coming off of a very hard-fought loss last week at home versus the Patriots, while the Titans come in with a record of 5-10 after getting absolutely throttled last week on the road in Green Bay in a loss which I actually saw coming a mile away, coming off of an emotional win against the Jets at home on Monday night, traveling to Green Bay. They got absolutely clobbered. Tennessee comes into this game obviously in a situation where I think they'll be playing hard in this game. They have a young quarterback. Disappointing has been the play of Locker. I don't think you can call it disappointing. I think it's the natural progression of a young quarterback. I think where the problems start. I know Chris Johnson has over 1,100 yards, and for me to set it up here and say that he's had a disappointing season, I don't know if people buy that. But what I mean when I say Chris Johnson hasn't had a good season, what I mean is he's had 6 games, including last week, where he's rushed for 45 yards or fewer. And look, if this guy is getting paid the money he is a franchise back, you can't have games where you absolutely don't show up. Now I know Tennessee's had a lot of games where they've had to come from behind this year, but there's also been a lot of games, in my opinion, where Chris Johnson has sort of mailed it in, and they haven't gotten the best from a guy that they're building their team around. When you commit that kind of money to one player at one position, he needs to be there for you every week. And, you see all these other franchise running backs, the Arian Fosters, the Adrian Petersons, even to a certain extent, Ray Rice. You never see these flops of performances like you see from Chris Johnson. And, I look for Chris Johnson to have a big game this week. Because why shouldn't he? Jacksonville is ranked 31st in both offense and defense in the league. I think Jacksonville is going to come into this game with little or nothing left. I think they left it all on the field last week against New England. I think they played hard, but I just question what are they going to have left in the tank, playing out the string, going on the road in the last game of the season here. They'll be without Maurice Jones-Drew once again, and they'll also be without Cecil Shorts, who their top receiver, who had another concussion last week versus New England and won't play this week. For Jacksonville, they started the season with Blaine Gabbert, hoping he could sort of develop in the offseason, and that hasn't happened. Chad Henne, there's a reason why no offense to Chad Henne, but there's a reason why he was a quarterback that fell out of favor in Miami, and he's a backup quarterback heading into this season. And I think we're seeing that play out here as he's took the reins here of the starting job. A lot of rumors circulating that Jacksonville will be Tim Tebow's next destination. I think it's a natural fit. I thought it was a natural fit last year, and it was a little puzzling how he didn't end up there. There's conflicting reports on how that decision went down. Some reports had it that Tebow had a choice between the Jets and the Jaguars and chose the Jets. Some other reports had stated that the Jaguars coach and GM did not want Tebow on the team, but the owner did. And I think what you'll see this year is, you got a team coming off a 2-14 record. You have a coach and GM whose opinion might not hold as much weight with the new owner as it did last offseason. So I think whether Malarkey likes it or not, I think Tim Tebow is going to be his quarterback next year. If anything, he's an upgrade over what they have now. I don't think Tebow is good by any means, but he's an upgrade over Chad Henne and Blaine Gabbert. And certainly, he'll do wonders for them in terms of media attention, selling jerseys and selling tickets, which is an issue for Jacksonville. Selling tickets and selling merchandise isn't an issue for a lot of NFL teams, but in that market in Jacksonville, it has been for about the past 4 or 5 years. So the Tebow move makes sense there. We'll see how this all unfolds as the season unfolds. The Jaguars could be in a situation where they have the number 1 pick in the draft. There's certainly a pick in the top 2 or 3 here as we conclude the season. But again, both these teams, disappointing seasons, sort of wrapping things up here in Week 17. I think you have to look at these two coaches. Certainly, there was some innuendo by the owner earlier in the season that if the Titans didn't play better, Mike Munchak could be in trouble. And certainly Mike Mularkey, if you go 2-14, I know it's only his first year, but he can't be too secure in his job up to this point. So we'll see how that unfolds as well. Tennessee -4 in this game. I like Tennessee -4 at home to close the season on somewhat of a high note and beat the Jaguars. Again, the Jaguars will be without Jones-Drew once again, without Shorts. I think they expended a lot of energy last week and actually did a good job against the Patriots. Just couldn't pull it out in the end. They were driving with a chance to tie and threw an interception. So I like Tennessee -4. Be sure to check out all my other Week 17 previews and subscribe to my channel here. And you can always catch me on Twitter as well, @SNewsAnalysis. Thanks, guys.